Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our Dharma talk tonight. Last night, the old abbot wanted to say something, but I cut him off. I don't see him there at all. So maybe when he shows up, we can pick it up where he left off. Where are we?
162.
162. Okay, thank you. Let's continue from where we were last word then. Okay. Go ahead.
The audio starts on 167.
167, so I should get going then?
Yeah, we didn't finish.
We never finished it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let me finish it then. Where was I? Is this where we were last night? Okay. Okay, so Master YongHua taught us to recite, and when you recite, you concentrate, you become more sincere, you become more earnest. Okay? If those of you who don't know what it means, keep reciting and you get it eventually. Okay. Now, he says next, when we recite the Bodhisattva's name, don't just recite with your heads lowered. You should lift your heads up. Okay, you must have a certain kind of spirit of bravery, of fierceness, and of vigor. Do not show a kind of, do not look dejected or demoralized. Okay, 颓靡不振. I don't know what that means. Okay, is that what it means? Okay, very good. Should trust the translation. Okay, so he says, even when you walk, keep the posture should be straight. Don't lower your heads. Actually, when you don't lower your heads, it's better for you. The qi flows more naturally. When you don't realize the posture you have during your cultivation matters. Okay, so that's why don't bend your heads, he says, because he says this because he probably noticed that a few people who recited at the time lowered their heads. Okay, that's normal for people. They say, what am I doing here? What does it mean? They force think like crazy, and then naturally they lower their heads. They don't want to be seen doing something silly. Okay, and instead, it's all in the attitude. Okay, the attitude you should have is of vigor. Okay, you practice vigorously, you recite vigorously, meaning that even though when you're tired, you still focus on the recitation instead of false thinking and say, I'm so tired, I'm so sleepy. Okay, ignore those thoughts, in other words. You should be fierce. Fierce meaning that you should be have no fear at all. Thoughts of fear that pop in your mind, you should ignore them. Okay, if you ignore those thoughts of fear, in contrast, you should have a stronger mind, a fiercer mind. Bring it on, okay? I'm not afraid of you, okay? And so forth. And bravery is that's bravery. I just explained to you. Fierceness is that you are intent upon winning. You're not going to lose. You're not going to back out. Okay? And so I don't know, to me, to have thoughts of bravery, fierceness, and vigor is not necessary. Okay? Because if you have to give, should I be fierce? Should I be vigorous? What happened to the guy who keeps on asking questions? I just saw him here. Oh, thank you, guy. Okay. You make these people wonder, should I be fiercer? Should I be more vigorous? Should I be more brave? Okay, too complicated. For me, just try harder. Okay. Don't show any kind, don't manifest any form of dejection or demoralized. Okay, if you like this, that's fine. I find it too complicated, if you ask me. Just recite. Ignore everything else. How is that compared to this? You tired, don't think about tired. You sleepy, don't think about sleepy. You hungry, don't think about hungry. You thirsty, don't think about thirst. Okay, very simple. You think too much. It's a case where you explain too much to the people here, they keep on asking more questions. That's my experience. The more I explain, the more questions arose in the mind. Okay? So just keep reciting. Ignore everything else. Ignore all the thoughts that pop in there. Tiredness, dejection, demoralized, whatever. It doesn't matter. So at this moment, see how full spirit you are. YongHua Bodhisattva comes and hand in hand with you, takes your hand, calling you, quickly come and follow me. Nice. You must be so special. She comes right away. You are so vigorous. You have no fear. She comes right away. You're so important. You're so special. And thank you for joining us. And he says, hurry up and follow me, and step by step you eventually arrive at the Western land of ultimate bliss. Okay. I wouldn't want to talk to Westerners like that, nor Asians. Okay. But it worked for his people because no one ever complained. Okay? And so the idea here is that you recite, and her goal is that if you recite her name, she will lead you by the hand to the land of ultimate bliss. That's a fact. Can't we just say that and treat you with more respect? Instead of telling you, oh, you're my brother and you should have no fear, I will be here for you. All that things that Westerners like to hear, ordinary people like to hear, you're so special. Okay? But he says, but she says that the here is a Chinese, because typically in our Buddhism, in the Buddhism I learned from a Chinese, it's a she, not a he. Okay, so she says, hurry up, follow me, and she will guide us to go to the Pure Land. Let me tell you this as well on top of it, of what Master YongHua says. If you believe in her, she will invisibly guide you, take you by her hands, and you don't even realize it, and guide you through. Okay, so it really happens. Okay, because if you're mindful of her, if you remember her, then she will remember you and provide guidance for you when you need it. Don't be like a baby, mommy, mommy, hold my hands. Okay, you're adults now. You'll be receiving guidance when you're supposed to. Don't be such a crybaby. It's time for you to get out from under mommy's skirts. This, as what you said, this Gotung again struck up a false thought. What false thought? Stop me, okay? If I go too far, let me stop me. Oh, false thought, he strike up.
This is where we start.
There you go.
167.
167. Go ahead, 167.
就会到西方极乐世界。这个我方才讲的话，这果同又打了妄想，打什么妄想呢？
This, as for what I just said, this Guotong again struck up a false thought. What false thought did he strike up?
他说观世音菩萨都 look too much look， 怎么为什么不叫我 look too much look 呢？啊，我怎么就不可以 look 呢？
He said, Guanyin Bodhisattva can look, too much look. Why not tell me to look, too much look?
It's look.
Why can't I just look?
No, look. Continue.
You are my father?
That's what he said. He didn't say look. He says look.
你要知道，你 look， 你看呢和观音菩萨的看法不同。
You should know, you Luke. Your looking is different from how Guanyin Bodhisattva looks.
Looks.
观音菩萨是看里边，你是看外边。
Guanyin Bodhisattva looks inward. You look outward.
观音菩萨，他看他自己的自性，他自性和每一个众生都有个电波，都有个雷达。
Guanyin Bodhisattva, he looks at his own self-nature. His self-nature and each living being all have their own electromagnetic frequency, all have a radar.
那么他看他自己这个电波和雷达，就知道一切众生的绕干中心。
So, by looking at this magnetic frequency and radar of his, he just knows all living beings' various kinds of minds.
这个众生打什么妄想，他都知道。
These living beings, whatever false thoughts they strike up, he knows them all.
他往里边看，看他那个电波
He looks
和
inward.
你看的不同。
Sorry. He looks inward, looking at that magnetic frequency of his. It's different from how you look.
因为众生啊，有的离他很远，如果要是啊，
Because living beings, some are very far away from him. If he wants to,
虽然千手千眼，但是看这个无量无边的众生啊，也不够用，也看不过来。那么他回
although 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes, but to look at these immeasurable and infinite living beings, it's still not enough to use. It's not enough to look at them all.
光返照，反问问自性，那么看自己的自性，自性的众生。
So, he returns the light and illuminates within, returns the hearing to listen to his self-nature. Therefore, looking at his own self-nature, the living beings of the self-nature.
那么哪一个受什么苦了，他就去救度这个众生。
So, whoever is undergoing any suffering, he will just go to save and cross over this living being.
你一看，你是向外看，把自己根本的智慧就忘了。
When you look, you are looking outward, therefore forgetting your own fundamental wisdom.
所以你这个看和他那个看不同的。
Hence, this looking of yours is different from that looking of his.
这是我答复果同这个妄想。还有人又打一种妄想，说什么呢？
This is my response to this false thought of Guotong's. Someone else has, again, struck up a kind of false thought. What did he say?
Okay, let's stop there. Master O Abbot, last night you wanted to say something, but I stopped you. I apologize. Would you like to continue if you remember, or you'd rather not?
Con muốn nói cái chỗ mà cung kính và tha thiết đó, nó gồm hết trong cái chữ Namo rồi. Namo ý nghĩa nó là cung kính, lễ lại, và muốn làm đệ tử của Ngài, cứu độ tôi. Cái chữ Namo mình niệm lên mới đủ, và cái kinh nghiệm của con rất là chia sẻ cho đại chúng. Có người bạn sắp chết, bác sĩ biểu niệm đi, ta cho tôi bay 8 tiếng đó. Thì cái nhóm hộ niệm lại nó niệm là A Di Đà Phật, A Di Đà Phật. Thì mình là người ta lại là thì mình phải theo người ta, gia đình theo. Nửa tiếng đồng hồ sau thì không còn nghe tiếng A Di Đà Phật, cái tiếng gì kỳ lạ lắm. Thì con mới nghi con bị phá, mà trong nhà thương thì có mấy Nam Mô Lăng Nghiêm Hội Thượng Phật Bồ Tát không có hết, Nam Mô Đại Bi Hội Thượng Phật Bồ Tát không hết. Thì thử hoài không hết thì mình mới chọn cái khác. Thì lúc đó con qua Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật, thì lập tức cái tiếng mà nó phá sống nó mất liền. Nghe tới loại cái tiếng A Di Đà Phật nãy giờ. Thì nửa tiếng đồng sau cũng bị như vậy. Thì sau đó con gái của cái người cô đó với người chồng xuống gara đem cái xác về nhà, thì cũng bị như vậy. Mở iPad lên cũng bị phá luôn. Thì hôm tháng rồi con về Nam Cali, gặp hai vợ chồng này, người Đức, người Việt Nam mình bên Đức về đây hội hưu trí ở đây cũng bị như vậy. Tôi muốn chia sẻ với đại chúng là niệm phải 4 tiếng, 6 tiếng cái Nam Mô mới đủ. Nam Mô nó ý nghĩa đủ trong đó hết. Cứu con, độ con muốn làm đệ tử của Ngài, con kính lại Ngài. Nó tha thiết trong cái tiếng Nam Mô đó rồi. Đừng có bỏ tiếng Nam Mô. Xin hết.
Emitofuo, I just wanted to speak about the respectful, earnest, and sincere. All of those are condensed in the word Namo already. The word Namo has the meaning of respect, worship, bow, and tell the Bodhisattva that I want to be your disciple, and please cross over me. In my experience, I would like to share with the Great Assembly that I know there's a person on the verge of birth and death, about to pass away. So the assisted recitation came over and trying to recite Amitabha Buddha to her, and the doctor already tell them that you're gonna have only 8 hours more. So then after half an hour, they recite Emitofuo. Just the word Emitofuo itself, they cannot hear other words, and somehow exchange sound come about. And so at that time, I was at the hospital, and I saw what happened. So then I tried to recite Namo Shurangama Dharma Assembly of Buddha and Bodhisattva. It still doesn't work, so I changed to Namo Great Compassion Assembly of Buddha and Bodhisattva. It still doesn't work. So then I changed the plan, and I immediately recite Namo Emitofuo. Then that obstruction stopped, and I attempted twice, and it also happened that way. And then later on, her daughter and with the husband took the body back home, and on the way they play the recitation on the iPad, and they also received obstruction as well. So then also when I just came back to California, I think Southern California a couple of weeks ago, I met with the German couple. They are in retirement. They came to America to meet with me, and we also talked about that obstruction. They have to recite the word Namo as well. So the word Namo is to ask them to cross over us and take us as their disciple. And the earnesty is compact in those two words Namo already. That's all I wanted to share.
Any questions? Okay. Actually, I disagree with that. There's a lot of things that happen that you don't realize. When you recite the Buddha's name or the Bodhisattva's name, for example, in the Chinese tradition, they see each other and they say Emitofuo and so forth. That is the equivalent. It's a shortened version of Namo Emitofuo. Okay, so it's implied that I take refuge and worship Amitabha Buddha. So there's no need for Namo, by the way. Okay, you don't really need to. The obstruction happen and you try different things and eventually it works. There's many factors involved there. It's not because it's a Namo, okay, first of all. However, one explanation is that when these people added Namo, they became more concentrated, okay? It's not about the Namo, it's about your state of mind. If you really concentrate, if it doesn't work, instead of trying different things, you should try to concentrate more, like a Chan person would do. For example, you practice Chan in about 7 or 8 days. You'll be practicing, starting a Chan Qi here. If you have problems, instead of false thinking and looking for another way, you should concentrate harder. That is how you solve the obstructions. You don't false think and try others. This is from a pure Chan perspective. Okay, so because if you keep on thinking, it doesn't work, what else can I try? So you are false thinking like crazy. Instead, a much better option for you, a pure approach. If you understand cultivation at all, is to concentrate harder and harder. You want to stop me? I will focus more on my Buddha's recitation. You still are stopping me? I will concentrate harder. That's what he meant by YongHua. Okay? Be brave, be fierce. Okay? You cannot stop me. Is that clear? That's the Dharma behind it. It's not you should change different things. Change different things is what I was taught and by Master YongHua disciples. Most people teach you that. I happen to disagree. I don't think it's necessary. Because even if you recite Namo, Emitofuo, if your concentration level is not high enough, they can still stop you. And I speak from experience. I've seen my disciples have that happen to my own disciples as well. Okay? So strike that. No, I disagree. It's what's being taught out there. It's only because these people don't understand. That's all. It's not a pure Chan play. Pure Chan play, you concentrate more and more and more. And you fight to death. That's much more effective than switching. Okay? Of course, we're different from you. When we do it, we have other means of countering obstructions ourselves. But for you, I teach you to concentrate because your concentration, the objective for you right now is to build your concentration. So you use these obstructions, these challenges to help you concentrate more, to challenge yourself. But on the other hand, for people like us in our profession, we do have more tools. Okay? Is that clear? I'm explaining to you how you use it to train yourself. Okay? But not the way that these people are training their followers, their students. It's not very good Chan practice. Is that clear? Once I allow you to go and fight them, then yeah, you can try this, can try that. It's a totally different because you qualified already. If you're not there yet, I will concentrate on reciting and concentrate more. It doesn't work, I concentrate more. Okay? Put your hands together, old monk. I'm teaching you. Okay. But thank you for your input. But in the spirit of what Master XC is talking about, I also want to elaborate a little bit. I'm very pleased that he contributed so far the last 2 nights. And the head is clear. I like that. Okay. The premise of his objection, the premise, his point is that the first vow of universal worthy bodhisattva is Li Jing Zhu Fo, meaning that, and in Chinese, Li. Let me translate it for you, and I want you to modify our handbook now. Okay? Next iteration, next revision, I want you to change this because the translation from my master's disciple is not good enough for me. Okay? Li Jing is Li. Is to pay respect. Li is pay respect. And Jing is to venerate. That's the spirit of universal worthy bodhisattva's exhortation. He says, when you want to go the distance, you want to go for the big prize, anyone? Are you going to settle for small thing or you want big things? Then the first thing you do is Li Jing Zhu Fo, meaning that you Pay respect, meaning you bow, you acknowledge the Buddha, you hello there. That's Li. Okay? Whatever you feel is you're capable of doing, you feel like doing. Okay? For Westerners, say, hey man, that's Li. Okay? Yeah. A little bit of respect in your mind is all we ask for, because it helps you. You have some respect, a little bit of it, and you keep on doing that, it grows. Let me assure you. Okay? That's why the Li Jing Tu Fo is very, very important. The first thing we do in cultivation. Okay, I'm teaching you, I'm reminding you now. Even though we transmitted to you a lot of GuanYin Bodhisattvas, Dharma doors, we have great compassion mantra, we have great compassion repentance, 4 2 hands and eyes, we have the 20 mantra and so forth. A lot of Dharma doors. I will transmit you more, at least one more Dharma door, the GuanYin Dharma door, okay? And those are the Dharma doors that we use in our work. But fundamentally, my master, I'm very proud of it, my master showed us the way. The foundation of all the GuanYin Dharma doors we transmitted to you is those 10 vows of universal worthy. My generation never stressed enough because we don't understand it. Let me explain to you tonight. The first part is your attitude. Pay respect. You see a great man, a superior being, you should be respectful, and if possible, pay with your respect. Because that's how you build blessings. If you have one thought of respect and act upon that, your blessings are incredible, inconceivable. That's a teaching. And if you follow that with Jing, Li Jing, Jing is to venerate, okay? And you have in your heart a mind of veneration because this person is so much better than we are. Instead of you Westerners and you people who nowadays feel that because of the Western education system, we're all equal, we're all brothers, we're all sisters. Baloney. Cut it out. I'm not your equal. You're not my brother. I'm not GuanYin Bodhisattva's smaller brother. I'm so small compared to her. How dare I think that she's my brother, my sister? I would never dare do that my entire life as a monk. Before that, yeah, I have that kind of mindset. Okay? You so Asian. I used to think of her. A woman? Anyway, so you pay respect, you act upon that, Li. You actually acting upon your sense of respect. And furthermore, you take a step further by venerating that person. Because if you're respectful, what's the difference between respectful and venerate? This is very profound. Universal Worthy's teachings. It's so subtle that it's not explained to you. And that's why the translation is abominable, you ask me. It fails to captivate the spirit of the Chinese teaching from Universal Worthy Bodhisattva. You Koreans, explain to me what Li Jing means to you. You Vietnam people, explain to me what it means to you. Taiwanese, impress me. Anyone? Did I scare you? Yes, Evan.
Dạ, thưa thầy, con nhớ ở đó mình đi học á, các thầy hay dạy mình là tiên học lễ, hậu mới học văn. Đầu tiên là phải biết lễ cung kính những người lớn hơn mình, và sau đó mới học về văn. Yeah.
Hello, Master. Back in the day, our education taught us that first you have to learn how to pay respect, to venerate, and then you can learn about the words and literature. First, you have to know how to respect and venerate the adult, those who better than us. Then you can learn their words and their literature.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? DTT.
Thưa Thầy, lễ kính theo con nghĩ lễ là cái thân mình á, tỏ ra cung kính bằng cái thân. Còn cái kính là cái tâm của mình, cái tư tưởng, cái con mắt mình nhìn cái phía trong. Cái lễ là cái thân của mình. Mình chắp tay hoặc là cúi đầu hay là mình lại xuống. Còn kính là phía trong. Cho nên cái ngày Thanh Lương á, Ngài dạy niệm Phật phải 4 cái. Tín, ức, xưng, kính. Mình tin Phật Di Đà. Tín, ức, xưng, kính. 4 yếu tố khi niệm Phật Di Đà hay niệm Bồ Tát phải 4 cái đó. Tín là mình tin cái vị đó giúp mình. Mình tin mình sẽ có được giúp, và mình tin tưởng cái vị đó và cái pháp đó. Rồi mình nhớ cái mặt cái vị đó bằng cái hình tượng nào mình thích đó. Khi mình lại lễ lại hay mình niệm, mình nhớ cái mặt cái Đức Phật Di Đà, Đức Quan Thế Âm cái mặt như thế nào mình thích. Mình nhớ, ức là nhớ. Rồi xưng là cái miệng mình xưng Nam Mô Quan Thế Âm Bồ Tát hoặc là Nam Mô Di Đà Phật bằng một cách kính trọng. Thì Ngài Thanh Lương rất là tán thán 4 cái yếu tố đó cho một người niệm Phật, phải đủ 4 cái đó nó mới là tối đa cái kết quả của mình cầu xin mình niệm của mình. Thì cái kính đó con nghĩ là cái lễ là cái thân, còn cái kính là cái tâm.
Okay.
Hello, Master. I think that the word Jing Li, so Li is about your body, what you show to on the outside. You humble, you pay respect by you bowing, and the Jing is the mind. What on the inside, how you look at that person. You have to, when the Li is that you put your palms together, you bow, and Jing is from the inside, you showing respect from the inside. Therefore, Master Jing Liang taught us the way of reciting the name is through 4 characters. First is faith, second is mindful, third is pronunciation, expounding, fourth is Jing, which is venerate. So faith, you have to have faith in the Buddha. You will be helped. And then mindful is you mindful of the face of the statue or whatever the statue or the image that you of the Buddha and Bodhisattva that you can be mindful of, recollect of, and pronunciation. You say the Buddha name, pronounce the Buddha name, and with the mind of venerate him. So that's the 4 factors that Master Jing Liang praised of those who recite the Buddha name that will bring you that will maximize your result of cultivation of reciting the Buddha name. So to me, I think Li is your body and the Jing is about the mind.
Okay, go first.
Emitofuo Master. Li Jing, translated to Vietnamese is lễ kính. And I agree to with Master C that lễ that you have show respect with your body, and Jing that venerate that you you respect and you think the person is much higher than you, and you show that in your mind. So with friend, so you respect, but not chin in there. But with older person, you change, but you not lễ, that you don't show much of the, like you bow down also. But for Buddha and Bodhisattva, that we have to show the as most sincere, and in our mind we have to think that they are way above us, and then we admire them and we venerate them. That.
Very good. That's excellent. That's exactly what it is. Li Jing. Li Jing is that if you pay respect, so you do something to pay respect, which comes from inside of you. Li is to pay respect. Jing is to venerate. So it's inside. Your mind is so respect. The Li is outside and Jing is inside. So that's exactly the nature of cultivation. It's always a combination both outside and inside. Okay? And that's, if you expand a little bit further, you see that you're learning, right now you're being taught the mechanics and the customs and the rules and regulations how to Li Jing. Okay? Whether you are a layperson or especially left home people, we have our rules and regulations, 规矩 in Chinese. Okay? And those are, you being trained about Li Jing. Okay? And that's a fundamental part of your training. Okay, it's not emphasized enough. People overlook the fundamentals nowadays. That's the first, the most important thing to do when you cultivate. According to Universal Worthy Bodhisattva, he says, I will teach you how to become a Buddha faster than anyone else. This is how I did it, and the Buddha agrees. He said, this is the roadmap, the blueprint on how you should cultivate. And the first thing is about Li Jing. Okay? How does it apply to your daily life? Same exact thing. Okay? You Li Jing people. You have to be respectful of others. You see, the Buddhist teaching applies to your daily life as well. Because why do you have to be respectful? You have a problem respecting some other people because you feel that they're not that smart, they're not qualified. But you still are respectful. Why is that? You're respecting their Buddha nature. You have to learn to look beyond the appearances. Each one of us, according to Buddha's teaching, have a Buddha nature. You should be respectful towards everyone for that reason. That's why I tried to tell you the other 3 nights ago. I said, we are not teaching, especially our youngsters, about being respectful, about respecting others. And that's very, very Buddhist. You respect everyone because in each and every one of you, there's a Buddha nature. Yeah, you are Catholic, you still have a Buddha nature in there. Okay, you are a man, yeah, you still have a Buddha nature, believe it or not. You're an idiot, yeah, you still have a Buddha nature. I call you idiot, but I call you an idiot with respect. Don't think I call you idiot, I have no respect for you. It's because I respect you, that's why I call you idiot. You buy that? I respect you. Why do you behave like an idiot? Sounds good? Okay, we stop there. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. Speaking about respecting everyone, Daniel Carrasco has a question. For Buddhism, what is the difference between veneration and worship? Thank you.
It's not much difference. I just want to use venerate because I want to stress veneration versus worshiping of the Catholics. The Catholics worship the gods, and the Hindus worship the deities, okay? And I don't want to use the same word because it's a different kind of practice for us Buddhists. I want you to venerate because venerate is inside. Worship according to the way they're taught in Catholicism, in Christianity, is that it's a gesture, okay, more than inside. That's why in Buddhism, Universal Worthy Bodhisattva emphasized it. Li Jing, your body acts upon that, but it's based on your veneration. So I don't want to use the word worship for that reason. That's why I do not want to use the same translation as they used. Okay? Change it, please. Yes, 7.
Master, I just look at the chat GPT and he says, yes, worship and then devotion. Is that what you're referring as well, like from inside, that deep sense of, I don't want to call it a feeling, but will that be more than worship, devotion with reverence?
No, I don't want to use devotion yet. Devotion to me, and I personally, again, I'm taking a lot of liberties with the languages, Chinese and now English. Devotion to me requires sacrifices. When you venerate, you don't need to make sacrifices. When you talk about devotion, it's devotion of the first image that comes to mind is the devotion of the wife to the husband and the husband to the wife that I see a lot in the Chinese. In my culture, we don't have such a thing because for whatever the reasons. But the Chinese, when I was growing up, I admired the Chinese culture in that the husband would never abandon his wife. A Chinese husband would never abandon his wife, even though she's sick, she's lost half of her face, he would never abandon her. Never, ever. To me, that's devotion in my mind. Okay. Yes, there's such a thing, but to me, it's a cultural thing that I saw in a Chinese culture that I admire. Or another example is the devotion of the noblemen to their kings. Okay. So you see devotion in terms of family relationship, in terms of in the courts, okay? The king cannot function unless his noblemen are devoted to him. If they stab him in the back, he's not going to be able to function very well. Okay, so for the country to prosper, you need devotion. That's why I'm not up north. Down here, the Republican presidents, all the president's men are picked because of their devotion and loyalty to him. Because they need that in order to fulfill the jobs, responsibilities. Like it or not, but that's how it works. Okay, so that's why devotion is not something I use lightly. It therefore has a different purpose in the history of mankind. Okay. But for emphasis, this is my times when I saw those Chinese men, Chinese women, how they are devoted to each other compared to my culture. Okay, so it's different. It's a huge difference for me. But nowadays it has not much difference anymore. Okay, so. Anyway, anyone else? Okay, so going back to 168, he said, Go Tong. He says, GuanYin Bodhisattva can look, and look, too much look. JNT, go ahead.
Hi, Master. I would like to confess my anger during the working in the kitchen today. I think I lost my temper and I yelling to the other senims, and I think I should look at my side, but I look around outside more. So I prepare more detailed schedule and share to them, and I try to tell them exactly what I want. So I would like to confess my anger today.
Okay. How are you feeling? I mean, physically.
Tired every day. Not only me, every seems tired, but we try to our best, but
Let me tell you.
Try to hang in there.
Let me tell you what's going on. You knew. I know physically you're not well. So that's why I told them to give you a lot of freedom, a lot of room, so that you have more time to recover, okay, and build up your stamina. Because our schedule is pretty tough. We get up at we do morning ceremony at 4, and we typically finish pretty late at night, and it's go the whole time. It's designed that way. It's from my teachers, Master YongHua, because when you keep yourself busy and you don't eat that much, or eat one meal a day, or even if you add breakfast, you don't have a lot of energy to waste, and therefore you find yourself being forced to think less. I don't mind explaining to the whole world, because this is our secret for our Sangha. We train our Sanghas that way. Okay? That's what happened to me, what happened to my disciples. It worked very well. Okay? But for newcomers, and not only newcomers, but people who usually have some challenges, mental challenges, like XE in her case as well, or XS2, for example. Physically, they aren't well. Okay, they don't have stamina, so we typically initially lay off. Okay, we give them plenty of time to recover and pick up the pace more and more. Okay, and that's what you all should know. We're patient because we want to give you a chance. But it should be in the spirit of you trying to live within a community, within the Sangha. You live within the Sangha by contributing. How could you, as a junior person, let your seniors work harder than you? It's a wrong kind of mindset. Yes, we're supposed to help you, we're supposed to provide for you, we're supposed to assist you and make sacrifices for you. But you cannot be like a lay person. Say, I'm entitled to it. Mommy and daddy will take care of me. I'm not your mommy and your daddy. You're here because I'm giving you a chance to receive training. I know you have limitations. That's why I'm patient. But you should also understand, I know very few of you are taking advantage of it. And most of you are very, very sincere, are working hard, and are eager to be taught, to be reminded of your mistakes and your stupidities. You have a problem. XN, you have a bad attitude. Who the heck do you think you are? We your servants? Are you untouchable? Don't mistake kindness for stupidity. All of you. Here in the US, I remind my people very quickly because I look at them every day and I said, you have such a bad attitude. I am waiting for an opportunity to tell them. Don't think I don't know. I'm patient because I give you time. I'm not your daddy. I'm here to train the next generation. Eventually, I give you plenty of time. If you don't make it, I'll throw you out myself. I will encourage you to leave. And you mess up, I will throw you out. Let me assure you. It starts with your attitude. How dare you think you're so special? What are you to us? My people are working so hard, taking care and helping, not just ourselves, but a lot of people. They have an ideal they're pursuing. We're proud of it. We're poor. We're small. People deride us. They make fun of us, look down upon us. Does it bother us? Not at all. It makes us stronger. We don't need recognition. You make the best of what we have. We've always done that the last 20 years. We never asked for anything. We use whatever comes our way, that's it. And you newcomers come in, think you're so special, that you're joining us because you are doing us a favor. Give me a break. Should be more humble. People making sacrifices so that you have a chance to come up to speed. Look, when I started in Korea, Shen En was impossible. And she screamed at my man that I sent to Korea to help them. And she fought him tooth and nail. What did I do? Nothing, because I wanted him to eat shit. Don't think we're stupid. I use the difficult circumstances to train people. Look at him, where he's at right now. Because he went through a lot of hardships. Not like you babies. As soon as you have a problem, I'm out of here. He never complained for 3 and 4 years. He never called me, Master, this is impossible for me. I can't do my job. No one respects me. I can't speak a language. They all are laughing at me. Meaning they're laughing at you as well. You think you're right. You have. You new people. I don't care how many years you've been as a left-home person or as a person living out there, how successful you are. You come into our world, there's very, very special training program that we do for our people that makes them superior. I'm very proud of that. If he decides to leave us and go out on his own or go back to lay life and does what he wants, you look at a very, very superior person. Because he was received the training. It's not the number of years, you idiots. It's how tough I train you. You think you're right? No, you're not. You're an idiot. XN. You don't know anything. You should be more grateful and contribute to show your gratitude the best way you can. We're not asking you to kill yourself. Do what you can. That's how you earn a spot in the community. That's how you earn respect. Don't worry about the others. If they fake it and they play around and sneak around on me, don't worry, it's not your problem, it's my problem. I will fix it. You fix yourself. Any questions? I'm calm. I'm not angry at all. How could you possibly, XN, as a very junior person, be angry at someone who's a lot more senior than you and who's been putting up with you, meeting the covered for you? Jesus, you're so self-centered. Okay, YongHua Buddha, going back to the Dharma here. YongHua Bodhisattva can look. Too much look. And why can't I just look? Okay, and so Master YongHua says, this is so American. It says, if the Bodhisattva looks, then I can look too. Okay, reasonable. So Master YongHua says, yes, but you don't know how to look. Okay, you don't know how YongHua Bodhisattva looks. It's the same word, but he looks differently. He looks inward and you look outward. Okay? You're being trained, all of you are being trained to look inside. Because ordinary people look outside. That's the difference between a person who has wisdom and a person who doesn't. A person who doesn't have wisdom is constantly looking outside and get afflicted. Okay? And what does he do? The Master Shio explains that this is a standard Buddhist explanation. He looks at the self-nature. Okay, it's good for you to hear this. Okay, it's good for the Buddhist disciples keep on hearing this because it's helpful to them. Okay, his self-nature, in the self-nature, and as well as each living being, we all have our own wave, okay, brain waves, okay. And what impressed me is about Master Hsuan, he pronounced the radar properly. Usually the Chinese, they call radar, or the Korean, they say radar. They cannot pronounce the R. So he finds ways to impress me constantly. He kept on saying, radar, radar. I said, wow, this is so impressive. You know, my master, he can pronounce the R. Okay, so he says that each one of the living being have this brain waves. They call it Dianbo, that brain waves. Not electromagnetic frequencies, brain waves. Okay, your thoughts are brain waves, and there's we also have the ability to register those brain waves, and he calls it radar. Okay, and that's how he can recognize living beings, various kinds of minds. Meaning when the living beings strikes up a thought, this is very precise. When a living being strikes up a thought, he can recognize it. That's how precise it is. Am I correct? You Chinese-speaking people, is when you strike up a thought, different kinds of thought. Okay, he can sense it. Okay, and all sorts of thoughts, and he knows them all, and so that's what he does. Whereas you cannot look at those kinds of thoughts. Master Hsuan explains to Wu Tong. And furthermore, Master Hsuan also explained that GuanYin Bodhisattva is known to have 1,000 hands and eyes. But there are infinite number of living beings out there. So it's still not enough. 1,000 hands and eyes are nowhere compared to the infinite number of living beings. So how does he connect with them? So he says, he logically he says, okay, you have 2 hands and eyes. You try, you can't even read people's mind. GuanYin Bodhisattva can. He's very logical. Next he says, GuanYin Bodhisattva as having 1,000 hands and eyes. He can help a lot of people, but 1,000 hands and eyes is still not enough to help these people, infinite number of people. So he does that. It's possible to do, to connect with the infinite number of living beings by listening to your self-nature. In your self-nature, Master Hsuan explains, it has all living beings right there. This is a standard Buddhist explanation. This is standard Buddhist teachings. Okay, you keep on hearing this from all the Dharma masters. So it's great that you're able to hear this. I read this, okay, I heard this from him, I read this everywhere as well. So it's a good thing for you to hear this. All right? And furthermore, he says he can detect, okay, a lot more than 10,000 or 1,000 hands and eyes, okay, that he has. He connects a lot more than 1,000. And furthermore, anyone who's suffering, okay, he will go and help. Okay, to save and cross over living beings. So according to Chinese teaching, Mahayana teaching, the Bodhisattva, GuanYin Bodhisattva, and this is very special, unlike what all you people are able to do, okay? The GuanYin Bodhisattva will come and save you from your suffering. Okay? And furthermore, it's not just save you alone, but he also will cross you over, meaning will create conditions for you to attain liberation, no longer suffer down the road. Okay? So for example, when you go to soup kitchen, when people are hungry, like a lot of people are hungry in Gaza Strip right now, okay? The Red Cross brings in food, okay, and gives bread and so forth. And that's to save them, give them relief for the hunger, save them from their suffering, okay? But they cannot cross them over. They cannot do things and put an end to their suffering down the road. So this is what differentiates GuanYin Bodhisattva or the Buddhists from the Red Cross, UNICEF, or charity work. Is that clear? When we help people, it's always twofold. Immediate relief right now, because you can't take it anymore, so you get relief, okay? But also we plant the causes for you to, in the future, not suffer like this anymore. And that's part of the help. 就度. It's very precise. It's beautiful. And this is why I venerate the Bodhisattva for that reason. We can help people, we cannot liberate them from the suffering. This is so special. How many people you think can do that in the world? And she keep an eye on you, because this is a condition for her to come and help you. And then he said, okay, I remember you now. Okay? You on my radar now in particular, and I will come and help you and facilitate your path to Buddhahood. So she uses the suffering you're experiencing right now, okay, to have a reason to come back and guide you. And that's Buddhist cultivation. And you idiots don't realize it. You only see, I'm suffering, they don't care. You idiots. You think the Bodhisattva and Buddhists, that's what they're doing. They're helping us. That's why I venerate them, because it's such a beautiful thing to do. Such a beautiful plan. You ask me. Yes, there's a question here. 6.
Thank you, Master. Well, what I've seen is that with this Dharma door of reciting GuanYin's name, we are creating affinities with GuanYin so she can help us when we need the help. And for example, we have the 42 hands and eyes that we are developing our own power. So my question is, when we recite GuanYin's name, are we also developing those hands and eyes, or it's totally different Dharma doors?
It doesn't hurt. It's all connected. Okay? Too much to explain to you. Just do it and you see eventually down the road you understand. When you're at my seat here and you have to train people and say, that's why they put me through this. Yes, 7.
Dạ kính thưa thầy, con muốn chia sẻ vài câu chuyện của Đức Quan Âm. Tại vì cũng có nhiều người chưa có tin cái thì cô cũng có nhiều người cũng không có tin cái câu Phật hiệu, cái câu là niệm Đức Quan Âm. Con được nhân duyên là lúc con 4-5 tuổi đi chùa với ông ngoại con thì con gặp những quyển kinh phổ môn để trên những cái ghế, cái bàn á, để miễn phí. Thì con nít con cứ lại con lấy một quyển. Và đến lúc con năm 12 tuổi thì lúc đó nhân duyên bắt đầu khởi thì con được người dẫn đi chùa. Và cái quyển kinh đầu tiên con đọc tại nhà là quyển kinh phổ môn phẩm của Đức Quan Âm. Thì con cũng được nhiều nhân duyên của Ngài rất là hộ trì cho con. Giống như là lúc Thùy trước khi mà Thùy gặp được thầy á, thì cũng có một nhân duyên là tự nhiên cái tượng Quan Âm mà Thùy thờ đó giờ á, cái bữa đó tự nhiên con với ông xã con đi vô nhà, tự nhiên ngay chỗ ở dưới chân của Đức Quan Âm một cái mùi hương tỏa bát ngát mà tụi con đi tìm khắp nhà không có, chỉ ngay nơi đó thôi. Thì sau đó thì được cái sự thì tìm ra được thầy. Rồi còn những vấn đề như là khi con sanh nở không có được lên bàn sanh, con khó sanh, có nghĩa là lúc đó con đã chết ngất. Con chết ngất rồi thì trong cái tiềm thức của con, cái câu Phật hiệu, cái câu niệm Đức Quan Âm vẫn còn. Tại vì trước khi đó con niệm Đức Quan Âm rất là nhiều. Thì lúc đó con nói là nếu mà giờ phút này con không đủ duyên con chết thì con xin theo Ngài dẫn con đi. Thì con vừa nguyện như vậy xong trong cái tiềm thức thì đứa con được sanh ra và con được phục hồi lại sức khỏe và trở lại. Và một cái câu chuyện nữa là cái lúc đó con khổ lắm. Lúc đó con bị business đồ, nói chung là nó đủ thứ chuyện. Rồi con với ông xã con lúc đó muốn chết sống luôn. Thì đêm đó con ngồi ở trên giường, con đi không nổi, con ngồi trên giường con khóc. Rồi con cứ niệm danh hiệu Đức Quan Âm. Con niệm quá xá niệm luôn. Con niệm xong một hồi cái con được nằm xuống, con ngủ, con khỏe. Qua ngày sáng ngày mai con khỏe trở lại thì con có trí tuệ để giải quyết mọi cái vấn đề. Đó là Đức Quan Âm lúc nào cũng luôn luôn tới bên mình để mà cứu độ cho mình. Rồi có một lần con trì tụng chú Đại Bi, con trì tụng nhiều lần. Thì đêm đó con ngủ tự nhiên con thấy nguyên cái phòng của con bóng đen tối thùi sập xuống. Màn đồ nó đưa đẩy giống như là một cái ngọn gió rất là mạnh thổi vào phòng của con, đen tối thui à. Thì lúc đó con sợ quá, tự nhiên trong cái tiềm thức con nửa tỉnh nửa mê thì con nhớ tới câu chú Đại Bi, con đọc từng câu và con thấy Đức Quan Âm hiện lên giữa ngay cái chỗ phòng của con. Và lúc đó cái sóng gió đó nó lặng yên và con được trở lại bình thường. Và một cái câu chuyện này nữa là của em chồng con. Đây là câu chuyện sự thật. Lúc đó nó 10 mấy tuổi đi tắm biển với lại một người bạn. Thì lúc đó nó bị trôi, nó bị xoáy, dòng nước xoáy. Lúc đó nó sợ hãi kinh hoàng quá, nhưng mà lúc đó nó nhớ câu Đức Quan Âm, tại vì nó thường hay niệm. Nó nói lúc đó em niệm quá chừng, em thấy sanh quanh em những cái sự vô hình nó đè em xuống, nó kéo em, nó làm em ghê lắm. Lúc đó em sợ hãi kinh hoàng, nhưng mà em vẫn nhớ câu Phật hiệu, câu Đức Quan Thế Bồ Tát. Em niệm một hồi thì nó được thấy nó nằm ở trên bờ biển, được nhiều người cứu. Còn người bạn của nó thì đã mất, đã không còn sống lại được nữa. Và nhiều câu chuyện của Đức Quan Âm và linh nghiệm trước đây là mấy năm trước mẹ con ở Việt Nam đi vào nhà thương, bị đút ống vào trong cổ của bà bị hư 2 lá phổi. Thì lúc đó mấy đứa em con không chịu đem về. Thì lúc đó nó đút ống vô thì khi đó con mới tìm người để hộ niệm cho bà. Tại con ở bên này mà lúc đó là mùa dịch nữa, mùa dịch bên này. Thì lúc đó con khổ sở vô cùng tận. Nó không chịu đem về, nó để nhà thương cứ đút ống như vậy. Bà khổ hải, mình mẩy sưng máu tùm lum. Con mới niệm Đức Quan Âm. Cái ngày thứ 10 con niệm Đức Quan Âm. Con niệm quá chừng xong rồi con nói Đức Quan Âm cứu giùm mẹ con, tại vì con không còn biết phải làm gì nữa hết, xin Ngài giúp đỡ giùm. Thì con vừa niệm xong thì sau khi thời khóa tu niệm thì con trở ra, thì con gọi cho một cái sư cô đó ở bên Việt Nam. Thì sư cô cho con một cái số điện thoại để gọi cái ban hộ niệm lợi niệm giùm. Mà cái số phone đó ở chùa Vạn Đức á, thì con đã từng gọi rồi mà mấy lần thì không được. Thì khi sư cô cho thì lúc đó con gọi lại được. Thì cái người trưởng ban rất là vui vẻ, hoan hỉ và nói em cứ đem mẹ em về đi, đem về nhà rút ống, chị sẽ cho người tới để mà hộ niệm cho bà. Thì khi đem về nhà rút ống ra, mẹ con hôi hốp và máu miệng nó phun ra, hai cái môi bự lên, mình mẩy sưng tấy lên hết, bầm tím hết. Thì lúc đó có ban hộ niệm tới chỉ cũng một vài người thôi, và niệm tới 5 tiếng thôi, niệm Phật á thầy. Dạ, rồi tự nhiên mình mẩy của bà xẹp xuống hết như là ngủ luôn. Dạ, đó là những cái vấn đề mà các ngài luôn luôn ở bên cạnh mình để giúp đỡ mình mà mình không có thấy được. Chỉ cần niệm danh hiệu thôi là các ngài tới. Dạ.
Hello, Master. I know that there's a lot of people might not believe in reciting the Buddha's name, especially GuanYin's name. So I would like to share the experience that I have. Hopefully, it bring forth of the mind for them. So with my cause and conditions, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I go to the temple with my grandfather. And there's a lot of sutra lying around, especially with Universal Door chapter. They put it on the table. So I go and I grab one of the book, and my conditions does not ripen until I was 12 years old when I go to the temple. And that was the first time I was able to recite Universal Door chapter. And there's I have a lot of cause and condition with GuanYin Bodhisattva. Before I met with you, at the house, Thuy has a statue that she's been worshipping for a long time, and all of a sudden there was a fragrance permeate around just that particular altar. My husband and I trying to search for what's going on, where there's the cause of the fragrance. We just found out that it was in front of it was just around the altar where we installed the statue of GuanYin Bodhisattva. So after that, we were able to find you. Another time is during my labor. I have a very difficult laboring, giving birth to my child to the point that I pass away. But then in my deep consciousness, I still remember to recite GuanYin name. And at that time, in my mind, that I also give rise to a thought. I told her that if I don't have enough condition to still stay alive, please bring me with you. I want to go. All of a sudden, I regained my consciousness, and I was able to deliver my baby. Another thing with me is my business, and there's a lot of problem to the point that I just wanted to die. But then every night before I go to sleep, I sat up and I recite her name. And then until I pass out, and the next day I woke up, somehow I feel invigorated, and I have wisdom to resolve my problem. And this is when I felt that GuanYin has come and helped cross over me, resolve my problem for me and my husband. And another one, when I was reciting Great Compassion mantra, that night I saw that there was a dark energy that covered me, and then somehow there was a big wind blow at me in the middle of the night. In my lucid state, half sleep and half awake, I keep reciting Great Compassion mantra, every single line clearly, and I saw that GuanYin Bodhisattva appear right in the middle of my room, and then somehow the wave and the wind calm down and it go back to normal. And another true story is my sister-in-law so they go to the beach and they bathe themselves in the beach, and they got the wave pulled them out, and they were afraid. And my sister-in-law relayed to me that at that time she was so scared, so she just remembered to recite GuanYin name. And she saw that there were a lot of people trying to pull her down, but then she just kept reciting the name. And when she woke up, she saw that a lot of people trying to help her, resuscitate her, but then her friend passed away. The sister-in-law's son passed away. And another story is my mom, when she was in Vietnam. This is during the COVID time. She was hospitalized, and they inject a lot of tube into her lungs, and it was very hard, very difficult for her. It's the last moment before she passed away, and at that time, my family in Vietnam doesn't know what to do. So then I myself could not go back to Vietnam as well. So I just keep recite GuanYin name all the way until the 10th day. I asked GuanYin to help, please help my mom, because I'm in a difficult situation. I don't know what to do. So then all of a sudden, I call the nun in Vietnam, and then they call the assisted recitation group that she gave me the phone number. I know I called them before, but then they rejected me. But somehow at that day, right after the nun gave me the number, I called, and they very happy to help with me. And then they told me that to bring the body back home, my mom back home, and then take out all the tube, and they will help. So when I brought my mom home, they trying to take out all the tube, and the body become swollen. And then they recite the Buddha names for after 5 hours, her body go back to nature, to normal. And to me, she's always, GuanYin Bodhisattva, always right next to us, helping us whenever we try to recite her name. And those are the stories that I wanted to share with the assembly.
Thank you for sharing with us. Lots of responses from the people who encountered this Dharma door reciting GuanYin Bodhisattva's name. It's lots of responses. Okay, and you yourself will experience them eventually, if not already. And continuing, we have about 10 minutes left. And so Master Hsuan says, for us, ordinary people, we tend to look outside and beware, because if you insist on looking outside, meaning looking at others, think of outside as looking at others. Anything but yourself is outside. Okay? And therefore, you are abandoning, forgetting, you disconnect yourself from your original wisdom. The point here is that you have this inherent wisdom in you already. It's by your continual looking outside, looking at others, and not ever at yourself, whining and complaining and moaning about all things, but failing to look at yourself. That's why you are disconnected from your original wisdom. Okay, your fundamental wisdom that you inherently have already. Okay, and therefore that's the difference between us, mortals, people who have no wisdom, who keep on looking at others. And the point here is that you can learn from this. This is a very important message. When you hear others bitch and moan about something else, okay, about someone else, blaming, and always say it's his fault, her fault, but you can tell these people are not using their wisdom. In particular, let me help you a little, because that's what you find me doing constantly. When you hear me lecturing, talking Dharma, I'm always criticizing Master YongHua disciples and so forth. Okay, when you sit up here and speak Dharma, it's different. I criticize you, I criticize people to help wake them up. But you, if you're not in this Dharma seat, you're not supposed to look at others. You're not supposed to criticize others and stop blaming others. So that's why when you look at someone who's not in a Dharma seat and all they do is complain, it's always Master's fault or Catholic's fault or Jung's president's fault. These people are stupid. You don't have to take them seriously. They get what they deserve. Okay? It's okay. And because of that, be kind. Don't criticize them. Just be kind. Just say, okay. Okay? And that's the response you need to learn. It doesn't matter how long they've been, who they are, okay, how long they've been cultivating, but if this is after all these years of cultivation and they still don't understand, they keep on blaming others and looking outside, these people don't know anything, don't understand anything. You don't have to take them seriously. Okay? And those are the people, if you spend time hanging out with them, you will be infected by their stupidity. It's scary when I look at people. They befriend stupid people and they see no problems at all. Okay, now, and so this is important. This is something that because you're cultivating, you have a chance to come here and practice GuanYin, join the GuanYin Qi, the 4 Qi, and so forth. Never mind about others. For yourself, and just for the duration, just look at yourself. Okay, learn to look at yourself. Look inside. What does it mean, looking inside? You don't have much time left. You have one more day tomorrow, and 1.5 more days for the GuanYin Qi, because we're going to end up this Dharma talk very soon. And then after that, the 4 Qi, you don't have a lot of time left. So you're supposed, for the duration, many of you are going to stay here for the 4 Qi as well. Take advantage of it. Look inside. What does it mean, looking inside? Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. The most practical explanation I got about that is from both you and Master Z. You say when you're meditating, look at your navel. And to me, that's the start of looking inside.
Looking inside, yeah. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. For me, is to look at my own faults.
Look at your own faults. Anyone else? You don't know what looking inside means? Yes, too.
Taking full responsibility for your condition.
Take full responsibility for your condition. Okay, if you're pregnant, it's your fault. Okay, I hear you. Anyone else? Nine.
Look at my own afflictions.
Look at your own affliction. That's the only thing worth looking at. Don't look at my affliction. I'm angry. But it's my problem. But if my being angry makes you afflicted, your affliction is your problem. It's not my anger. It's not my stupidity. It's your stupidity that matters, not my stupidity. Stop looking at my stupidity. Okay? And that's my stupidity, my success, my failure, my greatness. It's none of your business. The only thing worth looking at is your affliction. If you're afflicted by anything, that's the only thing worth looking at. That's what it means. What means by looking inside. Okay. And so, is it clear? This is very, very fundamental to cultivation. If you recite YongHua Bodhisattvas and you say YongHua Namo YongHua Pusa, and then in between you say, what? Oh my God, this the recitation is so slow. I'm so sleepy. And this monk here recites so funny. You keep on whining and complaining, okay? Then you're reciting it wrong. You just recite and look at your affliction. Stop looking at others' afflictions, others' inadequacies. Yes, 3.
How we look inside without thinking too much. Because once I start to look inside, I have tendency of keep thinking.
For example?
Like during the tea, I have a lot of first thoughts. So I keep thinking why I'm like this.
During what?
During the tea, I have a lot of first thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so while recitation, I keep thinking of why I'm like this.
Okay, so you just say, why am I like this? Okay, you don't even think that way. You don't think why next time around. You resist the temptation, why? You're trying to understand. There's no need to understand. All you have to do for the duration is concentrate. You go back to the recitation. Instead of thinking, it doesn't matter what you're thinking. Okay, as soon as you're aware you're thinking, you go back to concentrating on the Bodhisattva's name, on the Buddha's name. That's it. Nothing else. So you learn to drop those thoughts. That's all. It's a drill. This is a drill for you, okay? To keep on doing it in every single waking moment. When you're reciting, okay, thoughts will arise. What noise was that? Okay, that's natural. Don't follow that. What noise was that? I go back to speaking Dharma. I don't give a darn about the noise. Okay? Got that? It's very simple. You don't allow anything to distract you from your recitation. Especially in your mind when you're afflicted. You feel so justified being afflicted. Some of you who are not afflicted, in a way you think, I'm not angry. I don't have any afflictions. Okay? Then some of you are guilty of scheming. You're always looking around for an opportunity to get ahead, to get what you want. What is that called? You're low life. I mean, no. I take it back. You're greedy, like a low life. Got that? You're scheming. You're seizing opportunities like ordinary people. You say, because this is what we train to do. We seize. It's called climbing on conditions for us. Okay? It's called scheming. It's called seizing opportunities. You're low life. You're so petty. You know, the one thing that you just read in the sutra, that if you recite the Bodhisattva's name, you're creating an incredible amount of blessings, and you conveniently ignore that and start scheming for small gains instead of concentrating on reciting Bodhisattva's name and accrue your blessings. Shame on you. Okay? Drop everything. It's nothing that is better for you for the duration of this Qi and next Qi than the Buddha's name or the Bodhisattva's name. This is why we're doing this. It's for you. It's to help you accrue an inconceivable amount of blessings, even though, no matter how petty and how low of a life you really are, scheming and plotting. Okay, you still are creating a lot of blessings for yourself, but it could be so much more if you simply drop all those for the duration. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just stop it for the next 9 days. That's all. That's all you have to do. And after that, go back to your low-life self. No one's going to complain. You're going to hear from me. I only call you low-life when you're that way. But after 9 days, look at you. Oh, Bodhisattva, thank you for coming to my temple. I'm so honored. Okay? It's that simple. This is the best thing possible you can do for yourself. Concentrate. The more you concentrate on the name, the more blessing you have. And one day, when you become filthy rich, President of the United States, of China, of Korea, remember, you got those blessings to become a president and an emperor because of me. Don't ever forget. Thank you, everyone. Good night.